Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Almighty Allah, the entirely merciful and especially merciful. Dear viewers across the whole globe, I greet you with the best greeting, the greeting of Islam, the greeting of peace, saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace be unto all of you. Ameen, ameen. Dear viewers, welcome to this program. Welcome to Treasures. It is your golden opportunity to take as many treasures as you can, as long as you can carry them. But before you carry them, I want you to understand and think deeply of them and try to apply after understanding them. Try to apply them. And once you apply them, once you understand them, then you apply them, then it's your job and it's your role in this world is to share it with others, because sharing is caring. We know that in all cultures it teaches us sharing is caring. So we want to care for people. We care for people as we care for ourselves. That's why we are eager to share what we had been guided to with other people, with everyone around us. And not only that, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as we ask Him sincerely to guide us, we ask Him sincerely to guide others, because we love for ourselves, for others, the same love of what we love for ourselves. So we want everybody to enjoy and live the life that believers live. So we are open, all of us, to the Quran. As I mentioned in a previous episode, that one of the Quranic styles is to raise questions, to ask people some questions, and the Quran answers them, these questions. But after asking the question, we have the time to think. The thinking process is very important, because it is the thing that guides people when they think and when they reflect, when they compare, when they analyze. This guides them. These are steps that are required in every aspect of life. So we are invited by the Quranic style to think of these questions. So this is one question that we're going to study together today. It's in chapter number 16. Surah al Nahl, chapter number 16, ayah number 17. So it's very easy to remember, 16 and 17. So the ayah is 17 and the chapter is 16. So Surah al Nahl, here, this question that comes in ayah number 17, it says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم أفمن يخلق كمن لا يخلق أفلا تذكرون. Here, the rough translation of this is the one who creates like the one who is created. Don't you think? Don't you remember? So the explanation of this here, أَفَمَنْ يَخْلُقُ, we know the only one who creates in this universe is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The one who created the heavens and the earth, the rivers and the Niles and the seas and the mountains and the sun and the moon. And everything in this universe is created by one, whose name is Almighty Allah. Is He similar to the one who is created? Is Allah similar to the Creator, to the human who is created? Are they equal? Definitely, as we answered it in another location in the Quran, in the previous episode, that they are not equal. There is no way for them to be equal. Try to imagine I'll give some examples from the world that may help us to understand. Look at the person who manufactured this glasses, this eyeglasses. The one who manufactured it, the one who designed it, and then it came out as a product. Is the one who manufactured it like the product itself? In other words, the manufacturer can manufacture many and many and many and many of the same thing. And perhaps in every time that he tries or she tries to improve the product. But is the product itself similar to the manufacturer? Can the product itself manufacture something similar to it? No, it does not. Of course, it's a very silly question for some people because there is no way. Everybody would say, no, it cannot. So the one who manufactured it, the one who designed it, is much, 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 much more excellent and more important than it. This is in all cultures. This is known, very simple question that all of us as humans, perhaps we know the answer. So the question goes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is the one who create everything in this universe similar to the ones who are created? Is the creator Allah like the created the humans? No way. And by the way, some people have wrong understanding. So they misunderstood parts of their verses because of the distortion that happened to the text, or because of the inability of the people who carried their own texts to convey it to others. That's why we say that in Islam, the best way to understand Quran is by either the Quran itself, by other verses in the Quran itself, or by our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the one who got the Quran from Almighty Allah and got full understanding of it and explained it to others. And this refers to the importance of the Sunnah in our life. It's something integrated with the Quran, so it will help us to understand what is meant by what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted in the verses. So this simple question, ends with the answer, أَفَلَا تَذَكَّرُونَ? Don't you remember the blessings of Allah who created the rain for you? Don't you remember the bounties of Allah over you? The bounties of the rivers, the water that we have been drinking throughout all our life. The bounties of Allah of creating the sun for us, of creating the moon for us, of creating the other planets for us, is creating the wind and the oxygen for us, is the one who created everything. Don't you remember these blessings, these bounties of the Creator? Then you want to compare the Creator with the created? There is no way. It's a very, very stupid comparison. There is no way. It's unfair at all to compare the Creator with the created. And that's why you find one of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Creator, Al-Khaliq, Al-Bari, Al-Musawwir. And this is the benefit of for an invitation for all of us and a motivation for all of us to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we know Allah by His words. And there's something that's called the beautiful and the perfect names of Almighty Allah. That the more you know of these, and the more you count and the more you understand these names, the more you will have clear understanding of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For example, Laysa, one of the attributes of Allah, is that لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ. There is nothing similar to him. So any imagination, any idea, any thought in our minds that will help us to think about Allah, it's incorrect. Because nobody knows Allah as He knows Himself. And that's why, out of His mercy, He provided us with all these perfect names of Allah, or beautiful names of Allah, to tell us every name give us some description, some ability, some power of Almighty Allah. When we put them together, they will give us clearer picture, clearer idea about Almighty Allah. And this is one of them. As I just mentioned it, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ. There is no one similar to him. There is nothing like him. So this is from the very beginning. From the very beginning, you should exclude any idea, any suggestion, any imagination that comes to any human's mind that Allah is not that. Because that's why, remember that one of the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we say that Allah is greater. Allahu Akbar. Allah is greater. And we don't say greater than what? It's open because He's greater than everything and He's greater than all the things. Allah is greater. That's it, period. Greater than what? Everything. Anything that you can put in this sentence, right? Allah is greater than it. Greater than the moon, greater than the sun, greater than the universe, greater than the earth, greater than the sky, greater than, greater. Akbar, 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 Akbar. That's why one of the names and attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Kabir and Al-Muta'al, the exalted. And this is an encouragement for all of us from the very beginning to know the Aqidah in details, because it's really something that keeps our brains and minds thinking all the time, all the time. And it will tell us where to keep outside, to kick out the ideas or the things or the adjectives or the attributes that does not befit Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Without knowing these beautiful, perfect names of Almighty Allah, there is no way for any human to know that he is mistaken or not. And that's why, if human beings are away from knowing these names and attributes and qualities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that means there is no way for him to know the true God. And that's why I think part of being a Muslim or Christian or a Jew or a pagan or any of these, it's the right of human beings to know the Creator. And I think if the educators, the smart educators across the globe, they would acknowledge the rights of human to know who is their Creator, to know these attributes and names. And I wish this topic would be open on the highest level in this world. So the people, the experts, would discuss this matter and to see the importance of integrating this into the curriculum, the international curriculum that is studied by every student in the world, to get the right imagination, to get the right knowledge, the right information about their Lord. And in this way, we help. Would be the best kind of help for all humans to know more and more about their Creator. Without it, they are lacking, they are deprived of their own right. The one who created me as a human being, whether I am a Muslim or non-Muslim, still I have a right to know who created me. So this would be a topic that should be discussed on a very high level in education. across the globe, in India, in America, in Britain, in Europe, in China, everywhere in the world. Every human being has the right to know his creator. So now, I think the people of wisdom and the people of expertise should discuss this matter and would help the new generation to know their true creator. We want them to know their creator. And because once every human being knows these attributes and perfect names and qualities of the creator, of Almighty Allah, he and she would be able to decide later on whether they would accept this creator or not, without being affected by the culture of their foreparents or their relatives or their environment or their politicians or their educators. We want to provide them with the basic knowledge about the Creator. And I think the Muslims have this very well illustrated in their Quran and in the traditions of, in the Sunnah of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Therefore, it's a thing to think of. It's an issue to think of. I don't know their opinion, but it should be brought to the top of the list, because when students graduate from college, or even when they graduate from the high school, even when they graduate from preparatory school, right, still they are deprived of this right. We need to give them their rights. And I'm talking on behalf of every human being. Every human being has this right to access basic knowledge about their Lord. And if the Muslims have this access, have this knowledge, pure and correct knowledge, and I'm quite sure that many other religions may share with them that this viewpoint, that it is the right of every human being. And here I am defending the rights of every human being to get access to the basic knowledge that we deserve to know. Our children and every human being needs to know this basic knowledge, so that we would be able, at least would fulfill, would have full satisfaction that based on this knowledge, it helps us to really decide whose Lord, which Lord we are going to adopt in our life. Without this knowledge, there is no way for any human being, for any student, to take the right decision. And in education, all of us talk about options, 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 options. We want to give them these options after providing them with this knowledge, and would leave the decision for them. We do thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for guiding us, and we do ask Him to give us support and the ability and the knowledge to spread this knowledge among all human beings. Ameen, ameen. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى اللهم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.